there, everybody. Live on the Yankee Baseball Network, WPIX Sports presents its 40th season of New York Yankee baseball.
Thank you very much, Mel Allen. Live from Yankee Stadium in the from George Grand, the Scooter Phil Rizzuto has the night off tonight after a long night last night when the Yankees fell behind 5-0 to the California Angels, rallied to take a lead, and then wound up losing in extra innings to California. But, Tom, they're still talking about the home run that wasn't last night. Jim Leyrit's first inning, what appeared to be a 2-run home run, was nullified as the umpires changed their decision, and it really was part of a bizarre night.
Yeah, it was very odd beginning of the ball game, George, no question. When the home run down the right field line, you can see it disappear on the other side of the foul pole. If you continue to see the white on this side of it, it will have gone on this side, but no, does it go on this side or that side? It was reversed, and the reversal stood after Doug Rader argued. The thing is about it is, as the ball game turned out, the Yankees should have won the ball game in 9 innings. Of course, they go on to lose in 11.
Jim Leyritz, who hit that ball, was ejected from the game. First base coach Mike Ferraro was ejected, and Stump Merrill, the manager, was also ejected from the game. We asked him today what upset him most about the scenario.
Well, you know, it's a situation, as long as I've been in baseball, I've never seen a...
Jesse Barfield with one away. Hard to center field. A long run for McGee. He will get there. And Leyritz will go on to third base. Kelly will go back to first. Jesse gave it a ride. But Willie McGee and simply outrun the ball in center field. Remember, you're talking about McGee, who patrolled center field in St. Louis for many years. And you have to have terrific speed to play good defensive outfield in St. Louis because of the artificial surface. And it shows here as he easily ran down the ball hit by Barfield. That ball about 400 feet from home plate. He can go get him with the best of them.
Willie McGee was in somewhat of a funk in St. Louis. In fact, he had been moved out of the center field slot, and a lot of that you can attribute to his mental state of mind. He's a free agent and really did not know where he fit into the Cardinal plans. And when things started to go bad in St. Louis, I think they more or less resigned themselves to the fact they would try to deal him and that he probably would not be part of the re-signing effort for 1991. But if he's in the right frame of mind, he's a pretty good center fielder. And as you said, Tom, he's got the wheels to chase down just about anything hit anywhere in baseball.
Steve Balboni with the runners at the corners and 2 away. Leyritz at third, Kelly at first. Bones with a home run in last night's ball game. Has struggled since the All-Star break. Popped up in the infield. Tough play for Randolph. Anybody get there? Here in the top of the second. When you think of this ball club, 9-0 against the Yankees. Look at it the other way. The Yankees 0-9 against the A's. You simply have to look at the numbers to figure out why. Look at the earned run average on the bottom. Holy mackerel. The Yanks about half a run a game in 9 games against Oakland. Harold Baines having another solid year. One of the outstanding quiet hitters in the game of baseball. HB wearing his familiar number 3 that was retired in Chicago when he left the White Sox. And he has moved on to the Texas Rangers and now with the Oakland A's and reunited with Tony La Russa, who was his manager in Chicago. And La Russa has always been a huge Harold Baines fan. Fastball inside runs the count to 2-2. Andy Hawkins retired the A's in order in the first inning. Check swing. They'll check at third, and yes, says Larry Young, he went and rack up a strikeout for Andy Hawkins. Strikeout number 2. Good running fastball down and away. Take a look at it again. Look at that ball run out of the strike zone. That's a close call by Larry Young at third, but indeed his hands did go in front of home plate. Carney Lansford with 1 out. Lansford again having a good solid year for Oakland. 278, 3 home runs, 49 RBIs, 14 stolen bases. impeccable at third base. Off the fist. That's going to be a tough play for Espinoza. Gets him. Yes. Alvaro Espinoza, another sparkling play at shortstop.
Randy Velarde doesn't make this any easier for Espinoza, Tom. When you're over at third, your job is to cut across the infield towards the mound. Velarde really bends it along the grass too far. Espinoza has to avoid him to come in and then make the scoop and throw, and Espy's got one of the few arms that could make that play and still get something on it.
Boy, put a star by that one. That was an outstanding play by Espinoza. Mark McGwire, the big first baseman from the University of Southern California. How's that for some numbers? Not hitting 230, but 94 RBIs. Talking about run production. Cecil Fielder leads the American League in RBIs with 114. McGwire is second with 94. Canseco is third with 89. So the Bash brothers right there at the top of the list in the American League as far as RBIs are concerned. I'll keep you updated on the Mets in Philadelphia. Mets got a run in the first inning. McGwire sawed off, and another 1-2-3 inning.
It's Cap Day. Well, don't strike out this time. On Saturday night, September 8th, the Yanks will do it again as Citibank presents Cap Night. A Zokar, Leyritz, Moss and Company
in history.
Pretty soon the records will show that too.
Yes, they will. Rick Cerrone, Randy Velarde, and Bob Guerin for the Yanks here in the bottom of the first. Ball and a strike to Cerrone, who is the DH again for the Yanks. Way out in front of the off-speed pitch, and it's a ball and 2 strikes. Cerrone 0 for 4 last night in the game against the California Angels. The Angels won that game 12-6. They got 6 runs in the top of the 11th. Another off-speed pitch, and Cerrone is gone via the strikeout. First strikeout of the night for Kurt Young. That's a thin-handled bat, George. Don't put the good wood in those things the way they used to.
With the exception of Balboni and Zokar.
It's good to be back. It's a special feeling for me. I knew it would be emotional in some ways, but a lot of good friends, nice people. It's just nice to be back in New York.
You're wearing green and gold, but it seems like the pinstripes will always be in there somewhere.
Oh, yeah, it's in my blood. No doubt about that. It's something you can't take away, and a lot of good memories. I was just sitting here looking at that right field porch out there, and Chris Chandler's home run just flashed in my mind, and just things like that. A lot of emotion going through me right now.
Willie Randolph hitting .236 for the Oakland A's, a home run and 13 RBIs, and that's exactly what happens when you come back to a ballpark. Flashes of memories. The Chambliss home run. Oh, Jimmy Leyritz. Excuse me, Randy Velarde was thinking too there on a bad bunt by Randolph. And he's still going to get a hand. Boy, Scooter wouldn't like that, would he?
Now, Willie was not sacrificing. He was bunting for a base hit, and just one of those situations where Hawkins gave him a good pitch. He got the pitch up in the strike zone as soon as he saw him start to tighten up a little bit, and that's the toughest pitch to bunt alone, let alone a drag bunt. I tell you, no matter where he goes, he'll still be loved and remembered by you.
Mike Gallego, number 9 hitter for the A's. And it looks like maybe somebody missed a sign. Rene Latchman, the third base coach for the A's, flashing some signs. Hasse at first. They'll play behind Hasse, who is not a running threat for a stolen base. But if you put something on, he will run. But not with an 0-2 count. You would doubt it.
You played for Tony La Russa. You know the way he operates. Usually when Kurt Young pitches, Jamie Quirk is the catcher. But Hasse, coming into this year, was 5 for 5 against Hawkins. He had a couple of hits earlier this year.
Right at Jesse Barfield.
So while Kurt Young came to the ballpark today expecting to pitch to Jamie Quirk, and they had talked last night, when he arrived at the ballpark and saw the switch, he knew right away why the switch was being made, because he knows the way Dave Duncan and Tony La Russa operate. And he said, it really doesn't make any difference to me. I've pitched to all 3 catchers, and I don't have any problems, but I certainly understand the offensive philosophy that Tony La Russa brings.
Did you see Young putting a little pine tar on his finger there, George?
That's to save the blister, right?
Look at John Moore. He's got that inquisitive eye camera, doesn't he?
By the way, Ricky Henderson was at the plate when Roger Clemens took that Band-Aid off his finger up in Boston the other day, and somebody said, go check and see if he's doctoring the baseball, and Ricky said, Roger Clemens doesn't need to doctor the baseball. By the way, the word is that Clemens has severe tendonitis of the right shoulder. He's expected to miss at least 1 start, but right now they do not feel it's anything serious.
To left field by Ricky Henderson, a long run for Leyritz or Kelly, and Jimmy Leyritz will get there. Ricky Henderson is 0 for 2, a couple of flyouts. The A's get a man on, a leadoff single from Ron Hasse.
Product, and then spent a little bit of time in '81 with the Yankee Major League club.
Alvaro Espinoza leads it off for the Yanks. Espy at 216, 2 home runs, 16 RBIs. And 2 for 5 last night. He had singles his first 2 times up last night. Had a chance for a real good ball game, and then went 0 for 3 after that. He might get a hit out of this. Nope, Young comes up and makes the play. Young got enough leather on it to keep it
the second baseman
close enough to him where he could bounce on it and throw Espy out.
Young's an outstanding athlete. He was an all-conference quarterback in high school at Saginaw, Michigan. He was an outstanding college baseball player, and he shows you exactly how versatile he is there. He bounces off. Not only does he make the play, but he comes and turns, and he's in good position to throw. And for a right-hander, that's a lot easier play. For a left-hander, it's even a more difficult play when you're going towards third.
Back to the top of the lineup, Steve Sachs 0 for 1. He bounced out, leading off the game for the Yanks. A jam in that may fall in. Nope, Ricky's going to get there, and quickly 2 away. The Yankees 0-9 against the Oakland A's.
left fielder Jim Leyritz.
29 and 49 against the Western Division. Boy, when you look at how the Yankees have done against the 2 division leaders, the Boston Red Sox. Boston leads the American League East by 5.5 games over the Toronto Blue Jays. You look how the Yankees have done against Boston and Oakland. They're 2 and 17 against those 2 ball clubs. Right in there for a strike 1 to Jimmy Leyritz. Of course, when the Yanks were in Boston, they were embarrassed badly up there, as the Red Sox took 3 in a row from him. Swings at the off-speed pitch, and quickly no balls and 2 strikes. This is the American League East race. The Boston 5.5 games on top of the Blue Jays. Then it falls back to 11 games. Comes down, but he throws everything uphill. Watch where the elbow is here. Gets way down underneath. Go on over to third, and he's hurting somewhere.
He's not moving well at all. It looks like it's either in the lower back on the right side or the hip.
Third baseman Connie Blanchard.
Well, take a look at Jose Canseco tagging up and going to third on that fly ball, and watch him running. You can tell that something's hurting somewhere. Taken, and and they strand Canseco at third. Another good job by Andy Hawkins. And after 3.5 here at the stadium, no score between the A's and the Yankees. Roberto a base on balls in the first inning. Roberto's average has dropped down to 288. He flirted with that 300 mark for quite a while and then went into a slump and has dropped down below 290. Hitting the number 3 spot for the Yanks last night. That's the 9th time that he had hit the number 3 spot and went 1 for 4. Right through the off-speed pitch. So Kurt Young, a combination of
for one of the few times this year, the Yankees have a lead on the Oakland Athletics as Barfield rifles this one to left field. His last couple of home runs have been hit a ton, and this one was an example. He has now 11 home runs and 22 runs batted in against left-handed pitchers, and 11 home runs and 42 runs batted in against right-handed pitchers.
Boy, that was absolutely a no-doubter. He crushed that ball well past that 399 mark in left center. One hop up into the stands of the bullpen area. Tony La Russa did not get first blood here tonight. Off the end of the bat, Mike Gallego would not be able to make it, and a single for Steve Balboni.
Designated hitter, Rick Sorone.
Looks like a changeup on the outside part of the plate that Balboni just waits on enough and gets it through the middle past Gallego. And boy, Gallego has been just so valuable for this club. Look at Jesse. It's right there. It's like hitting off the tee. Mel Hall incidentally took batting practice today, Tom, and says the wrist and the arm are still very stiff, but he can't swing the bat.
Boy, that breaking ball was right in the middle of the plate, wasn't it? They go a long way. A long way. Rick Cerrone with one out and Balboni on first. I'm just up there in the booth teasing another right-hander. Ask him if he's got a sore shoulder from that first pitch, honorary first pitch of the ball game. To center field, Willie McGee right there, and they're two gone.
Doing it in the
Balboni hustles back to first, and they'll bring up Randy Velarde. We're going to visit for an inning or two with Jim Catfish Hunter, who is here to throw out the first pitch of the ball game, an honorary first pitch. And Catfish, seems like I see you every couple of weeks, huh? How you doing?
Thank you.
You throw a fastball or a curveball?
A strike.
That's all that counts, right, Cat?
I should have known. That's all you threw.
That's right, those strikes.
You were down in spring training, and the guy said you threw nothing but strikes. And they were saying you were pumping it up about 84, 85 miles an hour, too, down there.
That's fast.
Is that the sum total of two pitchers, or is that one pitch?
It's probably when they hit it.
Randy Velarde with two outs. The Yanks, a home run off the bat of Jesse Barfield, is 22nd of the season. And they have jumped on top 1-0. They're probably over there wondering, what's this lead like? Yes, you're exactly right, George. I guess the Oakland A's were on top. Hold them right there. Velarde right through the off-speed pitch.
get a chance to talk a little more with Cat, but he is here tonight because it is Strikeout Diabetes Night at Yankee Stadium, and Cat is here representing the American Diabetes Association, a group that he's done so much work with since your playing days, Cat.
That's right. You know, I'm a diabetic, so I'm trying to help the other ones.
2-2 to Randy Velarde. Right through the off-speed pitch. Velarde strikes out. The third out of the inning, but the Yanks, with a home run off the bat of Jesse Barfield, jump on top and draw first blood here at the stadium as we go to the top of the fifth inning here at Yankee Stadium.
Totally. What a wonderful addition to the city. And then with that edifice, that's the tallest structure in the world over there too, where you see it with the.
They're having the crime of their lives. Crackers.
They were Mexican.
Saturday night at 8 on Channel 11, New York's movie station.
Ron Hasse and Willie Randolph. Good to see you, Catfish. Good to see you on the mound. Nice to be back in New York, huh?
It's great to be back in New York. You know, I thought I'd seen everything. Today, just traveling, I've seen fights on the street. I've seen car doors knocked off. I've seen a little bit of everything.
Jose Canseco got to the ballpark late today because he said he got in a cab and asked the cab driver to take him to the ballpark. He said Yankee Stadium, but the cab driver took him to Shea Stadium. That's a good story, right?
That's good.
Did you get off your tractor to come up here? I know you've been farming down there, huh?
I farm a little bit, but I try to give most of it up now to a friend of mine, let him lease my land, and watch him lose money instead of me losing it.
It was a different way of life. I remember when you left baseball, you said, I just want to go back to the farm and work the farm. What happened when you went back there?
You've done that for about 10 years, right?
About 10 years, and my dad told me there was no money in it, and I found it out. So I said,
wait a minute here, wait. Maybe it took you 10 years to find that out?
Well, you know, I'm a little bit hard-headed.
High and deep to left field. Lay Rich right at the wall. Holy mackerel. That is a moonshot by Mark McGwire. Woo!
That looks like the one I'd give up.
Cat, does that bring back memories or what? I'm telling you, 2 home runs here at the ballpark tonight and 2 no-doubters. Number 35 for Mark McGwire, number 20 given up by Andy Hawkins. And just like that, a 1-1 ball game.
Lawrence at first thinks he's got a shot at this one, Tom, but it just continues to sail, and the distance is one part of it, but if you're
the first pitch of the ball game, you did snap your head around. Yeah. And there are people in this ballpark that knew exactly what you were doing. Some of them may have thought didn't know.
I think there was 2 or 3 guys in the A's dugout yelling at me. He said, "How about a home run?"
It's ironic that you come here on this night because, you know, we talked about it before you went into the Hall of Fame about a concept of which hat would I wear? Would it be a Yankee hat or an Oakland hat? And you had so many great moments for the Oakland franchise and so many great moments for the New York franchise.
I wanted to have one with both, like, you know, have a bill on each side of it, but they wouldn't do it that way.
Willie Randolph with 1 out and a run in for Oakland. Randolph trying to bunt his first time up, trying to drag it and popped it up to Velarde at third base. Willie hitting just .236.
This guy could play some second base for you, couldn't he, Cat?
He could. He was, you know, I always told him he couldn't play when it rained, though, and he kept getting on me.
One hopper right to Velarde at third, and 2 gone.
He was one part of a puzzle that, when you put it together, really had championship caliber players from top to bottom.
That's right, because Willie could do anything. He could take and hit and run. He could make the double play. He'd give up himself for another teammate.
Mike Gallego with 2 away. How much work do you do for the American Diabetes Association?
Well, I travel around probably at least 6 times a year, probably 3 or 4 days at each time. And
life, living for nothing more than an honest day's work and the rugged companionship of his fellow mountain men. It's a full-time job, but it does have its rewards, like smooth